What is up, everybody? I'm AF Gojiro, and I'm bringing you guys this 140 subscribers special. I know it's been a really long time since I've done whatever specials on my subscriber count, but it's time I made this with a really special one. This is combination between My Hero Academia and One Punch Man. This is what if Deku was Garou's son. Full story. If you guys are wondering what I mean by Deku being Garou's son, well, if you guys are wondering, the events of One Punch Man will most likely go on the same, except that when actually Garou decides to actually quit Sorvang's school, he actually does not do it for a bad reason. He actually wants to fight villains because he thinks he's strong enough. Of course, Bang does not think that Garou has practically mastered the technique itself, but he believes Garou's choice. And of course, Bang decides to train all of him and even learn every technique that he has. Eventually, Garou is actually able to awaken a quirk within him. If only Garou knows about quirks, and quirks are still present in the One Punch Man / My Hero Academia timeline. So most likely heroes like All Might would exist, but Saitama would be the #1 hero instead of Star Strippers from the original canon manga. So yeah, because of this, means that Garou wants to go to meet Inko as he goes to Japan, deciding to live there as he wants to live at peace. Of course, he will actually have a quirk known as monsterization, which allows him to access a monster forms from different kind. Before he has all his monsterization except his cosmic fear mode. It's practically a point that he can access, but he can only access for 10 seconds. That's his limit, but eventually he also able to pass his limits as he grows a lot stronger. If winning the My Hero and winning the One Punch Man God will still exist, except that he will not be that big of a threat because the time once he could have defeated him. Laying to practically God not existing anymore mean that most likely that God will be able to access the cosmic sphere mode where early on in the original, allowing him to act pretty much more powerful and became a god. But God decided to use his power as he became still a human, as he would accept his human side alongside his cosmic powers. Eventually he will meet the woman named Inko and eventually would have married her as he sees her gentle personality. Inko would have been a pro hero known as Telechory, which practically means that she has incredible strong telekinesis. Eventually, their son would have been born, as they decided to name him Izuku Midori. If warning, Garou I don't know the full name of Garou, so I just decided to go with Midoriya, as I wanted to keep the same canon name as the original. Of course, Deku would have been trained by his father, having the motivation of being a martial artist and a hero by his father and mother's side, leading to practically Deku being a hero as he wants to be a martial artist, even though if he was quirkless. But of course, his father decided to train him. Eventually, after Deku learns that he's quirkless, he of course is heartbroken, but he still keeps a stern face when he became a hero. Of course, he's still bullied by Bakugo, but he just decided to ignore it, deciding to train with his father so he can break his limits. And Garou is not actually against his son being a hero, since he sees a lot of potential in his son, because even though Deku does not have a quirk, he actually possesses the same abilities that Garou had before he actually awakened his quirk, which is incredibly fast growth alongside an incredible better healing process than any other human being, alongside the ability to adapt between battle and even copy a fighting style, which practically made Deku to be a lot stronger, almost as strong as his father as well. Eventually, by the time being, Deku had been trained by his father. If you're wondering, Garou is practically a #2 American hero or #1 hero in America. If you're wondering, Saitama is in the world's #1, while Garou most likely would have been America's #1 or world's #2 hero. If you're wondering, Tatsumaki and Fubuki are practically the sisters of Inko. Yes, they're practically related to Inko, and Garou is kind of worried because he practically fought them one time and he's kind of nervous of meeting them, so yeah. And the most shocking thought is that he practically made Inko pregnant, so they're kind of angry at Garou, but they do respect him because he's a caring father, even though he was kind of a hero hunter in the past, but they decided to just ignore it. Of course, Garou does not share all his past with Izuku. Of course, he does share some that, like training with his master, and eventually even him allowing Deku to train under his master as well. If we're thinking, Bang has been pretty old, but he's still in shape to fighting. Remember, this old man still has the strength to kick in some butt. So yeah. Of course, eventually, Deku will still encounter All Might, but in this timeline, All Might will actually tell Deku that he can be a hero, because he actually sees the same potential that he saw in Garou. If only Garou would have been one of the heroes that would have helped All Might defeat All For One. This All For One being a lot stronger because he actually had the infused power of God in the timeline. If only that was between a time when Garou, for the first time, he was able to access cosmic fear mode. This is when God also gave his power to All-For-One, eventually leading to God actually defeating All-For-One, not only to become a symbol of fear, but a symbol of hope and fear for the villains. And Deku actually also became a symbol that his father was. Important, yes, God is not a little bit of a target hero, but he's still a hero nonetheless. He just does his job not as daily as other heroes do, so yeah. Eventually Deku does get one for all from All Might, and eventually trains even harder in his original canon self. Eventually able to access Black Whip and even control one for all at 100% right off the bat. Due to his training with his father, I must say that Deku has all the fighting styles of Garou alongside his original fighting style from the Kamehama My Hero Academia universe, meaning that Deku is much more experienced in battling because of his father, mother, master, and even his teacher All Might, finally making Deku a much more powerful and experienced fighter in his timeline. Due to this, Deku became much more powerful and actually able to defeat and destroy Zero Pointer in the entrance exam with no issue at all. If we're Deku is also smart because of his father being a practical strategic genius when it comes to battle strategies, allowing him to be a lot smarter when it comes to battle alongside close combat. Importantly, by the time Deku would have mastered his Black Whip form, even if he would decide to actually make his hero costume to be a little bit of a menacing, just like his father's monster form. Wanted to show that to the villains he's a symbol of fear, but for the people he's a symbol of hope and peace. The symbol of justice. That's what he is. His name is Deku. If when he would decide to embrace this nickname, decided to prove that Deku means strong and determined. And eventually Bakugo decides to actually not bully Deku, seeming as he sees determination and that he has now gained a quirk. Of course, the relationship is not built right from the bat, but eventually Deku is able to forgive Bakugo. Of course, Deku does not actually forgive Bakugo right as he sees him, but he does respect the boy's choice. But he tells him that he's not gonna let his son be defeated by Bakugo this easily. Well, of course, Goku is still being a little bit nervous. If when Deku does retain some of his personality, it's that he's a little bit more confident in this timeline due to his father, so yeah. If when by the time, Deku most likely would have performed incredibly better than the original canon self. Actually, in their rescue hero training, Deku actually able to defeat Bakugo in just one blow, seemingly as he's using his father and master's martial art technique, the stream smashing rock fist, which probably would have made Deku a leagues ahead of Bakugo, able to easily deal with him, as he became much more stronger and powerful. Of course, I must say that the ship will still beat Deku x Raka. So yeah, Raka wants to get as strong as Deku, and Deku is actually able to teach her some martial arts due to his master able to teach him other martial arts instead of his own. And eventually she's able to pick on them and eventually grow a lot stronger. Of course, Deku does not actually skip on his hero training, and actually almost everyone in class 1A is actually confused on why Deku actually wants a menacing look instead of just a normal look of a hero. Because Deku explained that his father is actually Garou, or you could say the number 2 was hero, which surprises everyone because they know and have heard of Garou. He's the most powerful person besides Saitama, and he's pretty strong in his own right. According Blast is number 3 because Garou is a lot stronger than Blast, so yeah. If you wonder who Blast is, he's practically the rank as hero in One Punch Man, so yeah. If you're wondering, the normals are actually a lot more powerful because Shiraki and All-For-One actually know about Deku being the son of Garou alongside being the successor of All Might. So Nomu actually been pretty much tougher, but because of Deku's potential, he is actually able to defeat Nomu, and eventually actually win the Sport Festivals even easier than the original timeline, not breaking any of his bones, and also providing Todoroki to actually realize his mistake and even allow him to use his flames. Of course, Deku is still determined to become a hero and not give up on his dream, as he continues to train and grow a lot stronger just like his father, determined to save people alongside to protect the innocent. Eventually, Deku starts to date Raka, and alongside the other boys of Class 1A dating the other girls from Class 1A as well, eventually leading to practically about meeting with Kami and eventually dating with her as well. Eventually, Deku became so strong he will most likely be even stronger than the big 3 of the entire UA, meaning that he will most likely be able to defeat Mirio in the battle when they're faced with his own armor. I must say that even Class 1 is actually a little bit stronger than the original canon cells because of Deku being there, allowing them to actually have much more battle chance against Mirio when they actually face off against them. Even when Deku actually faces off against the big 3, he's actually able to defeat all 3 of them with no difficulty because of his father's abilities that he's able to gain genetically. practically allowing him to be much more maneuver and much more faster. Because of this, Deku will be the most powerful person in entire UA. Of course, Deku was still been training by Gran Torino, and eventually Gran Torino was able to help Deku go beyond 100% of One For All. If one Deku can already use full Kali because of his father able to teach him how to utilize it around his body. But now he can actually push it beyond his limits, as Deku can now use 150% of One For All around his body, making Deku even more powerful than his manga counterpart way earlier in the original. Even by the time of actually this canon timeline, I want to say that he's as strong as he was in Intro's Exam, as strong as he was in the manga, which probably proves that this Deku is a lot more powerful. Of course, Deku will never not taking this power into his head, allowing him to practically think of the other people instead of him. Of course, Goku is practically happy to see that your son is as pure-hearted as he was after he turned a hero. Eventually, Deku is able to kill most of the Nomos, and eventually the battle between All For One and All Might will be much more desperate than the original. If when Baku would have not been captured in a training camp, because almost everyone is a lot more powerful than the original canon themselves, so most likely they were easily able to deal with some of the Nomos and even defeat most of the legal villains. Of course, overall will still would have fought All Might and eventually leading to their almost dead battle. Where of course Garou and Deku joined the battle, as Garou will be in his most form and Deku will be in his hero suit, assigned to face off against the villain. If when Deku already has his hero license because of his father, and he is already more powerful and even close to his father's level in his true power. Eventually, Deku will be able to actually face off against All For One, and eventually when Goku defeats All For One, his cosmic energy will leave his body, leading to go to Deku, and eventually Deku will actually access his own cosmic mode, calling it Cosmic All Mode, or Cosmic Fear Mode like his father, allowing him to practically access One For All at any percent he desires with no difficulty. But the form only can last for 10 minutes, and after that he's run out of energy, or he cannot use it for at least a day. Eventually, of course, Deku is able to master the form after training with his father for a couple of months. Before Shredder will still become the next holder of One For All, of All For One, but he will easily be defeated by Deku. Eventually, most of the canon events that they were supposed to happen, or even in the movies of Miyakama, I would say that Deku and Baku were able to practically deal with it, and even the entire class were able to deal with the difficult situation easily. Only some of the villains that die in the manga didn't actually die, meaning that Dabi and even Toga almost like twice are actually safe from All For One's grasp. I want to say that Deku was able to actually delete All For One after gaining his cosmic power, allowing Tobias Shirai to realize his mistake, and eventually they were able to actually become heroes after they get to their new lives. Eventually, Deku would have became the #1 hero in Japan, deciding to replace All Might after his retiring. Eventually, everyone will become one of the top heroes, but Deku, Bakugo, and Shoto are the 3 strongest heroes in Japan, if not even the entire world. If one of Deku's power is actually able to match that of Saitama, due to him actually being stronger than his father in his full power. Of course, Saitama went decided to actually meet Garou's son, as he sees a lot of potential in him. Eventually, Deku is still able to face Saitama, and both of them are actually equally matched. Deku is still a human and can actually grow a lot stronger, and because of his cosmic fear mode, Deku can actually grow as long as he wants, just like Saitama, allowing them to practically have an infinitely massive battle. But of course they both hold back so they do not destroy the city or anything else. If only Saitama is a lot more smart than his canon counterpart, almost like he has a daughter of his own. So yeah. Of course, his daughter will become friends with Deku, as both of them became best friends, with Oraka eventually marrying Deku, and both of them having a child. That being Izumi, yes. This will be kind of a female Deku, but she most likely will be a daughter of Deku, so yeah. Of course, she'll have actually a similar to her grandmother, Inko, telekinesis, but it's not stronger than Inko's telekinesis. She can probably leave things with just her hands, not mind, unlike Inko, which makes her even stronger, alongside having a little bit of psychic abilities like her mother and like her aunties, or her grand aunties, so yeah. With this, she mostly became very powerful and a big protege. Before I want to say that it was still been saved by Deku and adopted is choose him as her father. Eventually, of course, Koda, who's the kid from the training camp, will most likely would have seen Deku as a true hero, and eventually would start dating Eri after they became adults. Eventually, Deku will be pretty happy that he is now becoming the #1 hero and achieved his dream of becoming a symbol of peace and justice of Japan. Of course, while he is proud of his son, and eventually after he's passing away, Deku becomes a new symbol of justice, alongside Oraka, Bakugo, and Shoto, as they became the most powerful heroes in the entire Japan, and even America as well, as Deku sometimes goes to America so he can help Troopers and even Saitama if they need help, or him too. Which practically makes Deku the most powerful character in this multiverse, or you can say universe. Of course, Deku wasn't pretty happy about his life. Informing this Deku is around 25, so yeah, he's pretty much adult-like. Eventually, Deku will have sense incredibly powerful energy, and he will turn around as he sees me. With me, of course, to wave my hand Deku. As I will introduce myself before Deku can attack me. With me, introducing myself as Gogito, the multiverse of God and protector of every timeline. Of course, Deku is confused with what I mean, but eventually I'm able to explain everything to Deku. They were actually surprised that his father actually came from a different timeline alongside himself. They were actually not supposed to be our father and son, but different people at the same time. I'll tell Deku that he's pretty powerful. I'll give him that. He's a pretty strong kid. Even showing his original canon counterpart. I'm pretty impressed. But Deku, of course, was bullish and told me that is nothing. But I told him that he's pretty powerful, and I'm proud of him of becoming a hero. Of course, Deku would have not. He asked me when I'm here. With me, just saying that I'm here to congratulate him on being #1 hero. It's all just trickle and wish him good luck in his life. With Deku not telling me that if I will ever see me again. With me telling that yeah, he will see me somewhere in the future. But as I will disappear, with Deku of course nodding as he looks up to the sky, thinking that this is kinda weird but kinda cool as well. But guys, this is the end of the story. Hope you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. I love you all. Bye.